All right, well, I think we're probably good to go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our second GLI Caffeine and Quarantine Chat with Your Chamber. This is something we just started doing last week, and we're still molding and tweaking it as it goes along. So we appreciate you guys hopping on this morning, taking some time out of your day. I'll give you a breakdown of what to expect for the next hour. I will tell you, we will be leaving everyone's mics unmuted because we do want participation and open dialogue. But be respectful of background noise. Maybe mute yourself if you're not speaking as we go along. So again, my name is Brian Schneider. I am the director for GLI's investor development efforts. So I'm on the membership side. So I recognize most of the faces on here, which is awesome. So in the next hour, what we'll do is I'll provide just a few GLI updates so you better understand what the chamber is working on, because we are still here advocating for you in your business. And then also we will go around and do some introductions and then open the floor for questions towards the end for our open floor and questions middle to end. So, but again, this is Caffeine and Quarantine presented by Park Community Credit Union. So thank you for joining us this morning. Let's see, I've lost my notes on the page here. Apologize, guys, bear with me. All right, so updates. So I will start by saying that recently GLI has announced that they have formed a renewal task force. So if you haven't seen any updates about this or news blurbs yet, this is a group chaired by Carrie Stimler, and it's been brought together to discuss the latest information and aspects on COVID-19 response in our area, including testing, PPE, funding for small businesses, and then reopening strategies for the economy and what that's going to look like, timetables, etc. So we are releasing updates about that as this committee convenes. So if you aren't receiving the GLI newsletters with updated information about COVID-19 and what's going on, we can always get you signed up for that, and I'll have some more information about how to do so towards the end of this. But also, we do have a page on our website for COVID-19 help, which we can provide the link in the chat here momentarily. So check that out. And then also, GLI is collecting questions that we've been asked about how COVID-19 impacts your business. You can also submit questions to be answered by our staff. So to see those responses, again, go visit the COVID-19 page, and I'll put that link in the chat here in just a second. So next, let's see here. Is Raymond on? I don't see Raymond on here. So what I will do is, again, just thank Park Community Credit Union for sponsoring this event today. They are always a fantastic sponsor for GLI, and they really help us provide events and resources like this. So do support our investors and our sponsors. So again, thank you to Park Community Credit Union for sponsoring this event. So next I want to hand it over to Jordan Clemens for some introductions.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Again, thank you to Park for sponsoring this event. If they get on here later, we'll give them a moment to talk. They might just be a little bit behind. But again, this is Coffee and Quarantine, or Caffeine and Quarantine, rather. And the goal here is just to network and to touch base with one another. I'm on the investor development team along with Brian, so I do see a lot of familiar faces here. You all might know each other, but you might not. So I'll just kind of go around and call on each of you. If you can say who you're with, you know, what you've been doing. If you're supporting a local coffee company this morning, I've got my Heine brothers right here. I always try to give them some business. Would rather be meeting in person than making it at home, but we're working with what we got here. And then what we usually do when we meet is show you this cool way to connect on LinkedIn on your phones, but you have to be in close proximity with people. So what I'm going to do is copy and paste the URL for my LinkedIn page in the chat. And as you get done introducing yourself, paste that in there so that everyone can connect with you, so that we can stay connected past this. So again, my name is Jordan. I'm with the investor development team here at GLI. Scott, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, Scott Groan, Excel Services, Director of Business Development. I am supporting my local coffee company here in Sellersburg, Indiana. What I've been doing is what we chatted earlier about, is just taking care of the babies that are here at the house, e-learning today, and trying to enjoy the time I have with the kids while we're still working.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I've got 2 5-month-old twins at home, so it's 100% daddy duty, 100% GLI duty. There's no 50-50.
Yeah.
Frank, how are you this morning?
Good. Hope everybody's doing well and staying safe and healthy. My name is Frank Buster. I'm Vice President of Business Development for Byrne Insurance Group, a locally owned full-service insurance agency here in town, located off of Hirschburn Lane. And I'm supporting Louisville Stoneware with my coffee mug. So, and I'm also an ambassador. I'm also a co-chair of the ambassador program. So trying to stay active as much as we possibly can.
Thank you, Frank. Frank is a really valued member of GLI. He and Blair Gordon are co-chairs of the ambassador program. So if you'd like to get involved in that, just contact Frank for more information. Lance, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Lance Mann. I'm a director with Dean Dorton Allen Ford, a CPA firm in Lexington and Louisville. What have I been doing for the last 3 weeks? Trying to help clients understand the damn CARES Act and how they can get access to the various relief packages associated with that. I do have 4 kids at home, but luckily we hired one of our kids' teachers to come and help during parts of the day so my wife and I can stay busy. My wife's a banker, and so her banker's hours are worse than my CPA hours these days. But all in all, we're enjoying a little bit slower pace of life, not running from event to event.
Yeah, that's good. I'd say you're doing important work. I Googled the CARES Act yesterday to try to inform myself on that, and I gave up after about a minute. So keep doing that good work out there. Cindy, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Cindy Middleton with Napai Truck Equipment in Jeffersonville, Indiana. I cover all of Central Kentucky and Southern Indiana on all things truck and van equipment, truck bodies. And I am a GLI ambassador, as well as I belong to ABC and AGC associations with the construction field, which is who I work primarily. And I am working from home in about an hour. I'll probably have a full table, myself and my 3 daughters. They do their schoolwork and as I do my work on my computer, and they're still bugging me to pick employee of the month. But I'm not sure how to go about doing.
Keep us updated on that. And thank you for being an ambassador, Cindy. It looks like we now have Raymond on the line from Park. Thank you again for sponsoring. Raymond, do you want to say a few words? Looks like you're muted. If you'll unmute yourself. There you go.
Yes, good morning. We certainly appreciate being a sponsor for this. I'm Raymond Smith with Park Community Credit Union, the vice president for our community development area. So we continue to be a partner with GLI. Certainly appreciate all that GLI does. One of the things I want to say is that we are in operation. I heard somebody a minute ago say that their wife is a banker, so you understand the fact that the financial institutions are one of those that are continuing to be on the front line. Just want to make you aware that Park is very creative, unique in what it does from a lending standpoint. We're working with a lot of our members right now through the PPP that some of you are familiar with, but we're continuing to lend money, continuing to try to help individuals achieve their dreams. One of the things that is so popular right now for us are the mortgage area. In spite of all this, the mortgage demand is pretty great. I'm happy to say that Park is always looking to be innovative and creative in what we do. Let me give you an example of that. One of the things that we've done, we do it all over Louisville, but we have a unique product in the west end of Louisville, any of that we will lend someone up to $100,000 at 100%, no PMI. We do $2,000 of the closing costs. Well, also additional $20,000 to assist them refurbishing and remodeling the home, and they can have a credit score of 585, which, as you know, is unheard of. We do that all over Louisville. The only piece that is not a part of that is the renovation rehab piece that would lend the additional $20,000. We also have a micro commercial loan where we're helping individuals gain access to capital. Many times a startup business, a small business, what they really need is just a leg up. They don't need the $50,000, $60,000. So we have a loan that we actually have put in place that is more of a startup business, the micro businesses, where they're able to borrow up to $10,000. We set it up over a 3-year principal and interest payment at a rate of 3.99%. We also use it as a teaching tool. So when they pay that loan back as agreed, we actually refund them 100% of their interest. So I'm happy to say that we work with a lot of businesses that have done that. One of the ones I really like to showcase is a gentleman that started off with his micro business and now is a tier 1 supplier for the city of Louisville. He went from a micro loan to a guidance line to now has a full-blown revolving line of credit, and it started with a micro loan. So one of the things that I say all the time, nothing's too minute, nothing's too great that you can't call us about. We don't say no. Sometimes we have to say not now, but if you follow steps 1, 2, 3, then we're able to put something together for you. So again, let me say thank you. It's a pleasure for us to be a sponsor of this. Atlanta, thank you for getting me on here today. I know it had a little challenge with that, but certainly appreciate all that you all do. And if there's anything that I can do to assist Atlanta, if you can make sure that my information is there where they can contact me, certainly, again, nothing's too minute, nothing's too great that you can't give me a call back about to see what we can do to assist you. So thanks again.
Thank you, Raymond, and thanks, Park, for always being such a good partner with GLI. Really happy to have you here and for the work that you're doing right now. More important than ever, really. I think we were on Cindy, so we'll go ahead and Christine, you want to introduce yourself?
I didn't think we were going to be doing staff. Hi, everybody. I'm Christine Quinio, and I am the Director of Marketing and Brand Strategies for GLI. I oversee all of the GLI marketing efforts as well as Live and Lou, our talent attraction initiative.
Thank you, Christine. She helps get together the great newsletters that we're seeing from Sarah that are so timely right now. So thank you for the important work you're doing. Amy, good morning.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name's Amy, and I am the business development rep for Allegiant Staffing in Louisville, and I cover all of Louisville, a little bit of the surrounding areas, and over into southern Indiana. And I have 2 children at home that are also doing their homeschooling, which has been a challenge because my husband is also a banker. So he's on the other side of this wall working 24 hours a day, it feels like. So we're trying to keep our heads above water with the schoolwork and our own work as well. So it has been quite a challenge, but we're all getting through it. But you know, we are a staffing company, but we deal mainly with logistics, distribution, warehousing, large companies that need temp service to come in. So if anybody knows of a business that's struggling and needing people because they're, you know, we all know that there's people that are, their businesses are either down because of the COVID-19 or they're up. So if you know a business that is struggling because they don't have enough workers, please let me know. I'll be happy to help out any way that I can. So hopefully everybody's staying healthy, mind and body during all this craziness.
Thank you, Amy. Make sure to drop your contact details and your LinkedIn URL in the chat over there so people can reach out to you afterward. Logan, go ahead.
Hey, I work for Musselman Hotels here in Louisville. So we're based out of Louisville. We have 12 hotels that we manage and run. Steelbox is one of ours downtown. So we've definitely seen the brunt of this, you know, early on, and we're just kind of keep pushing, being there for our associates, being there for the community, donating free rooms to first responders. Hilton and Marriott both have helped us out on that a bunch. So just trying to do our best to stay afloat. We've, you know, just be there for our associates and be there for the community throughout all of this. So.
Thank you, Logan. You drinking any local coffee this morning?
No, I've already had my coffee, had some Heine Brothers, just drinking my water right now. I'm actually at one of our hotels right now, helping out the front desk, you know, making sure, giving our associates, our GM, some time off when they can. So I already drank my coffee. I've been up since about 5 o'clock this morning. So
I remember those days. Kendall, hi.
Got it. Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Kendall Merrick. I'm the manager of Oxmoor Center, and we are still fairly busy at the center. And the good news is that the discussions have now turned from, closure procedures to reopening procedures. So I know that we still have to get the go-ahead from our governor, but it is nice to be able to be turning thoughts to reopening and also just determining what the new retail environment will look like as we move into this next phase. I just want to pitch out there that we would love to work with the community. If you all know of a nonprofit organization that needs a great piece of real estate for exposure to the community, we would love to work to help out. I think some of the areas that we could be most supportive would be in being a collection site or a distribution site. Also, we've got a ton of storage space available. If anybody was looking for, extra space, if it meant storing like medical supplies or something like that coming into the community, I'd love for you all to think about that and reach out to me if something comes to mind. I'm drinking office coffee and am jealous of those of you who are drinking Heine Brothers this morning.
At GLI, we have a very nice perk of having Heine Brothers as our office coffee. Maybe
That's
one of my
good.
maybe one of my favorite things about working there. Makes me miss the office even more. Make sure to drop your contact info in the right over there, Kendall, and your LinkedIn URL, so we can get in contact with you with nonprofits that we can hook you up with.
Thank you.
Justin, looks like you're coming at us from the beach.
Yeah, so wanted to introduce myself, Justin Tillery, with Johnson Controls Major Projects and Connected Technologies. I manage the Kentucky market territory. When I'm not on the beach, I'm trying to remind myself that it'd be nice to be on the beach right now. I'm taking care of a couple kids at home. I've got a 2-year-old son and a 5-year-old daughter. So we're, kind of in the same boat with everyone else there, but just trying to make the best of this time. What we're seeing across the market is we are seeing some declines in the construction market, but we are also right now with several of our partners, local area hospitals, we are seeing some significant work there with, some repurposing work, negative pressure rooms, things of that nature on the HVAC and control side of the business, and some fire and security. So, I would just encourage anyone that we have partnered with some alternate care facilities and sites around the country, New York, where that pandemic, biggest message we want to get out is Johnson Controls is here for the community. Should they need us, we are open for business, and we're trying to get through this along with everyone else. So if there's anything we can do locally or local market, let me know, reach out to me. I'd be glad to help. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin. Yeah, we're all in this together, so I appreciate you reaching out and offering that support. I think we have enough time to introduce the GLI staff on the call. So Alana, just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alana Turner, and as Jordan just mentioned, I work for GLI. I am the sponsorship sales manager, so I get to spend a lot of time with folks like Raymond Smith, and it's really just a passion of mine to find a good spot for sponsors who are looking to grow their brand. So I know this is a funky time for that type of spending and marketing dollars, but if you're interested, we have sponsors for all of these calls and a lot of other opportunities. So feel free to get connected with me.
All right, we've also got Jesse on the call. Hi, Jesse.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessie Shook. I am GLI's Director of Education and Workforce Connectivity. Been very busy lately with trying to wrap our heads around what the best approach to the mass unemployment that we've seen, not just in our region, but obviously across the globe. So we basically are trying to do anything we can to mobilize that workforce to ensure that when the economy does start to reopen, that we're able to really kind of mitigate some of those issues. And I'm excited to be here with you today. Scott, I spot your rig in the background. I'm very jealous of that. I don't have one, and it's been a real issue, and I'm starting to lose it. So good for you on that.
Thanks. Hey, want to come over? Hey, we'll wipe everything down. You're more than welcome to use the room.
I might take you up on that.
Nice eye, Jesse. Yeah, I'm missing the gym badly, and the yoga mat doesn't quite compare. Charles, hi, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. If you're missing the gym, you can always go outside. Reminding everybody, it's been really nice out lately. I'm fortunate. I'm a cyclist, so there's been less cars on the road. So cycling has actually been pretty phenomenal around town lately. I'm Charles All. I am GLI's Director of Public Policy Development. I'm part of our government affairs team. I see several folks on the call here today that are members of some of our issue advisory committees. Frank, Lance, it's great to have you guys on here. Those are really important committees, and we'll talk more about those here in a little bit. I do a few different things with government affairs at GLI. A lot of my work revolves around shaping the Chamber's policy priorities and helping us take positions on public policy issues, which is a big group effort, involves our entire membership base in one form or another. A lot of the work we're doing right now is helping our members understand the rapidly changing landscape of the world of government public policy, which is, of course, changing minute by minute in some of the most unpredictable ways that any of us could ever imagine. So we're working diligently to help people understand what's happening. And we're also continuing to advocate not face to face, but traditionally that is how we advocate for policy. But really what we're focused on these days is communicating as much as we possibly can with lawmakers and policymakers to accomplish our priorities and help communicate the needs of the business community. So that's something I'm sure we can talk more about here later. And I'll, of course, be happy to take any questions on government, public policy, those types of issues when we get to it.
Thank you, Charles. Charles is a really valuable resource to our team when investors have questions about policy. You just send them Charles's way and they take care of them. So we appreciate the hard work you're doing. Let's see, Lindsay Martin, I don't see your video, but can you join us on audio and introduce yourself? Oh, hi there.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted and not on video because I've got two little kids right next to me right now. So.
Hey, kids are welcome.
Yeah, so this is my 8-month-old daughter. So yes, I'm working from home. My name is Lindsay Martin, and I handle business development for Calcrete Roofing and Sheet Metal. So we are large commercial roofers. I cover the whole state of Kentucky. In Louisville, we did, Kentucky International Convention Center, Omni, Yum Center. So we do lots of big projects like that. Mainly roofing, but we cover the whole exterior envelope of the building. So it's nice to meet everybody and hear from you all.
Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah.
We have Ladaya.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Good.
It's a pleasure to be on here with you today. I am coming from the Summer Works program. I am a workforce development specialist, and I'm working from home. And I know during this time it has been challenging, but I'm very thankful that our Summer Works program will continue this summer, and we have already solidified around 42 employers. And if you are interested in working with us for the summer, please contact us. What we do is that we help youth ages 16 to 21, seek summer employment or full-time and part-time permanent employment. So feel free to reach out to the SummerWorks program. I'll put my information in the comment section. But we're very thankful to help the youth. We are we do operate under the umbrella of the Youth Build Louisville. And so we're just very fortunate just to help our youth. And we're hoping that as soon as this pandemic passes us, that we'll be able to just hit the ground running and supply our youth with all the resources that we have. So thank you for allowing me to talk, and I hope everyone have a good day.
Hey, thank you. I'm sure you're connected with Jessie. If not, I'm sure she's messaging you right now. Looks like Joseph Franklin. Hey, Joseph.
Hey, good morning, everyone. All right, so my name is Joe Franklin, and I'm a technology recruiter with Tech Systems. What I do is I help individuals within the technology industry find opportunities, not just on the local front, but with organizations around the nation. So as someone as like I consider our company to be a major like intermediary. So we work with a lot of clients around like the local market, especially in the corporate sector, as well as around in the national sector. And we indirectly like influence or impact things in the workforce development space. So it's just very important for me to understand what's going on within the market so we can find better ways to just assist individuals with opportunities. So that's pretty much the bulk of what we do.
Thanks, Joe. I'm used to seeing Joe at least once, if not twice a week when I'm out and about. So I know he's probably feeling as anxious to get out as I am. It looks like we might have a couple other people who have joined by phone. If you'd like to introduce yourself, go ahead. We'll give you a couple seconds. Going once, going twice. All right. Well, thank you for introducing yourself, everyone. It's nice to connect with you. If you haven't, drop your LinkedIn URL over in the chat so that people can connect with you. And Alana, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Jordan. So I'm going to take over the next portion of this event, which is really just an open floor for your all's questions. You've heard the teams from GLI that are on the call. So if you've got questions related to policy or workforce, if you have questions related to talent attraction and what that might look like, we've got a couple of people that are positioned to answer those or connect with you offline. So I first want to talk about that. But really, we brought these calls to you all for an outlet just for virtual connections. So we don't necessarily need to talk about business or talk about COVID-19. I, for one, feel like every call I'm on somewhere surrounds around that. So I understand why, but we want to give an outlet for just other conversations. So I will just kick things off. We hear a lot from our investors. They ask what are you hearing from other people? So the first thing I do want to just open it up to is like, how are you feeling? Are you feeling great today? Are you feeling like you really don't know what's going on? For me, I have these days where I wake up and I'm like, you know what? This is the new normal. I have my health. I still have a job, which is great. There are positives. And there are other days that I just wake up and I just am so concerned about the future that I can't really wrap my head around the day. So I first just want to talk to you all about that. How is everyone just feeling today?
Well, I can tell you that my mental health feels really good. What Charles said earlier, I am a cyclist. I'm a triathlete at heart, and the roads have been phenomenal. There's no cars out there. But just like Jesse said, I also work out in the gym in the house here too. So you gotta get that physical health in. It helps that mental health. But also talk with you too. I mean, having my extra family time has been great. On the business aspect, as electricians, mechanical, and plumbing, we are the essential workers out there that are building the backbone of America. And for us, it's been great for our guys to still be able to work, and for us, even people in the office to get out and have that sense of security too.
Yeah, things are good here as well. With my girls, I have, like I said, we have the round table we're working at, and it has been really nice to have the time with my girls, and at the same time trying to stay connected with my businesses. I've been able to take some classes online to really find out more in-depth things that my office can do and let my dealerships know and my end users know some new avenues that we can go to as far as we can add hybrid options to trucks that can make large fleets, especially more economical moving forward. And so that's been a benefit, as well as I live in a neighborhood that myself and a few other moms have been able to socially distant walk together. So still have some human contact at the same time as staying safe.
Yeah, Ladea here. I totally agree with Scott and Cindy. I know, especially Scott, I've been exercising. I've been jogging, walking about 3 miles a day. And I've actually lost weight. So I have not gained the quarantine 15. So I'm very very thankful for that. But there are challenging moments, definitely, especially, just seeing other family members. As mentioned, I'm very, as someone mentioned, I'm very thankful to have a job where I can work from home, where I can be safe. I have a mother who already has respiratory conditions, so I'm glad that I'm not around people right now, and I can just really take care of her. However, I do have family that are struggling during this time, and I try to be a positive influence to them. And it is difficult for some, but I'm very fortunate to be able just to work from home, to exercise, I meal prep. So right now my mental state is good, and I try to just share the light whenever I can with my family and friends. So yes, so I'm very thankful.
Great. Well, I feel like at least Scott mentioned it, that piece of that physical activity really being helpful for mental health is, I know, for instance, my gym has completely transferred everything virtually. It seems seamless on my end. I'm sure it took a lot of coordination on their end. They're a national brand. Is anyone having good success working out at home or getting out and walking more? I do feel like I'm spending more time outdoors.
We do family walks every day. I'm actually training for a half Ironman, so yes, I'm training quite a bit. And then I'm going to turn over. You can actually see my daughter. She's trying to write a workout program now on the wall. So, yeah.
I can't even describe how jealous. You got the big whiteboard. I wish my whiteboard was in here. It's this tiny little dollar store whiteboard, and it's like completely tinted black now, just from the days. It doesn't quite erase all the way. But I did borrow a barbell from the gym, and my setup is absolutely crazy in my tiny little house in Germantown with everything just strewn about the floor. My husband has been making fun of my selection of borrowing a 100-pound sandbag, which I keep dropping on the ground on our old wood floors. And I think one day it's just going to fall right through. So I am really ready for the gyms to open back up.
My husband's a contractor if that happens.
Okay. Good to know. I do not have the skills to fix that on my own. So
we've been playing wiffle ball with the kids and going on walks, but we're also set up with a stationary bike and elliptical trainer and weight bench. So there's no excuse for me to get during
You're
this
ready.
My question is like, how's everyone's like circadian rhythm? Like, what's the sleep been like? Because like my sleep has been a little weird, seeing that we've been since we've been quarantined.
That's a good question.
I'll comment on that. I know when this first started, I found myself, waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning and then just not being able to go back to sleep. And I think a lot of that was just the kind of the shock of this settling in. And one thing I did once I noticed that happening, and I found myself staying up later too, which, then I would wake up early and I would drink way too much coffee. And it just, you started feeling that rhythm getting thrown off. Yeah. And working in government affairs, right before all this all started, I was operating on a schedule where I'd basically get up at 5, be on the road by 6, be in Frankfurt by 7, be in Frankfurt till roughly around 7 p.m., come home, try to be in bed by 10 or so. And obviously that wasn't a great schedule either. So I was like, okay, what was like the healthy schedule I had before that? And it was like, getting up early, taking some time for myself in the morning, trying to be in bed no later than 10. I've gotten back into that the past couple of weeks and found that that rhythm has made me infinitely more productive than I was this first couple of weeks, and just I've worked really hard to just to stick to that. At least during the week, try to maintain that schedule. And I think that's helped me kind of get a good rhythm, sleep better, and just feel a little bit, overall more healthy throughout the week.
Thank you. Else has had the same experience I have, but I feel like every minute of almost every day has been compressed and compacted now since my wife and I both work from home. Trying to work in the kids' non-traditional instruction, their Google Meets with their workloads and their schedules. I just feel like I've struggled to be able to balance work as well as all of the other activities that we have to fit into the day. Anybody else feeling that way?
I can comment on that. Yeah, it is hard to find a good routine. We try to get all of our schoolwork done first thing in the morning, the first part of the day, which means I'm also trying to work during that time. So it's hard to put both of them together at the same time. My son is over here moaning about something, about math. I'm on a call.
Right on cue.
Happens all the time. So it's really, you all know that it's when you've got little kids in the room. He just turned 9 2 days ago. There's their needs, wants, their schedules is not necessarily what mine needs to be. So that is a daily struggle. Daily.
Mine's a little interesting. I heard the going outside. One of the things I've had the blessed privilege of doing is teaching my little one how to ride a bicycle. So I don't go to the gym, but I've been running around trying to catch her to make sure she doesn't fall off the bike. So that's been a lot of fun. She looks forward to that every day after I get off work. There is an adjustment for me because I actually oversee an area from southern Indiana to Berea, Kentucky. But without the traveling, I've been based in my office in Lexington. And so that's a little bit of an adjustment. Also, I have the blessed privilege, I pastor a church. And that is different right now because there are no congregants in there. But I actually go to the church every Sunday. My wife is a news anchor here, and they've changed that she does all her broadcasting from home now. But my wife's a news anchor, so she comes to the church and she films me. And but it's a little different preaching to just my wife and to my daughter. But I'm learning technology because she's been putting it on Facebook, and the people that have been touched, not just normal in our congregation, but some of my old schoolmates from across the country have commented on it. So it's been going well.
Yeah, I think the hardest part for everybody is just creating that normal routine. We always have a routine. You're always either getting up at 6, having lunch or dinner at this time, and now you're just doing it with kids. So for us, we've rolled out our weekly, meal plan all week. We tell our kids, hey, at 8 o'clock, you're starting schoolwork. At 9:30, we did their schoolwork all throughout the day too. It's like, hey, here's gym time, here's, recess, everything else. So we're trying to keep them normal. Joseph, go back with you, man, with sleep. Don't know when my baby wakes up, so sometimes it's always abnormal, so we don't know. So, but I'm actually bringing her down here real quick to show everybody. She just turned 1 on Saturday, so you say hi.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! So many birthdays happening.
Yeah.
So my son turned 1 on Sunday.
Oh, awesome! Very cool. Yeah, we had our 14th birthday, a little drive-by for her. So
we had a Zoom birthday party.
We had a walking distant parade for a 1-year-old in our neighborhood and made signs and had balloons and bubbles. So
I'll take a pause here for just a moment. We had a new investor or community member join us, Lawrence Smith. Hey, Lawrence, everyone went around and sort of introduced themselves at the beginning. Do you want to let everybody know who you are?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Larry Smith, COO for Hollenbach Oakley and Horizon Commercial Realty, also a Vistage chair in the community, and run a CEO group for NABO as well. Thanks for joining me. I just wanted to reach out and see what this was all about today.
Yeah, thank you, Lawrence. It's just really an avenue for all of us to connect. We have people from various departments of GLI on the call. So if you have something specific that you need from us, we're here for you. But we're just trying to provide some human connection for everyone and sort of just riffing off of what everybody wants to talk about. So just feel free to just put something out there if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to hear if people have the same challenges and opportunities as I'm seeing. Thanks. Good to see a couple of my friends as well on the line.
Yeah, we've had one of these previously, and I feel like that's my favorite part about these. Obviously, they're very casual, but I just miss going to events and seeing people. And so I feel like I'm seeing a lot of my family these days on Zoom, but I'm missing my local just business community. So I'm glad for this opportunity. So I know we just had some casual conversation. I just wanted to tie it back and see if anyone did have any specific questions about what GLI is doing. I know Brian mentioned our new crisis task force. We can provide some information on that if anybody is interested, or anything that's more focused on exactly what GLI is doing or what we can help you with.
I mean, I think you all are doing a great job with communicating through email. I know I enjoy looking through, the email every time I get it, just to see if there's anything new that's happening. So I think you all are doing a great job with that.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off that. I think you guys from the very beginning have been really proactive, and with the communication, all the webinars that you've established and set up have been really awesome. For everybody that's just kind of wanting to get some of that information, you guys have done a really good job communicating that to everybody. So appreciate that.
And if anyone's not getting those updates, just drop your email in the chat and we'll make sure that you get signed up for those.
I've already grabbed 2 people's emails, so if you've already put it in there, I've already gotten it.
There you go.
Yes, Christine is the brains behind if not all of those communications. So if you've seen those, you can definitely thank her. She's doing a lot of work on those, but it's definitely been a team effort. Sarah was adamant about maintaining that communication even during these times, just understanding that we really are a hub for a lot of business information and wanting to make sure that everyone stayed connected as much as possible.
And speaking of hubs, also put in the chat box up toward the top, we have, in addition to the COVID-19 resource page on greaterlouisville.com, we also have crisissupporthub.org. That has all kinds of information is related to COVID-19, frequently asked questions section. And if you have specific questions that you want answered, you can ask them through that portal and we'll run them down and find the answers for you. And I would be remiss not to also mention Live in Lieu. Go to liveinlieu.com for all the great information on Greater Louisville. We have a local job board on there, and please follow us at Live in Lieu and at GLI Chamber on your favorite social channels.
What about the census, Christine?
How could I forget the census? If you have not completed the census, please do so for the first time ever. It's online. I did it yesterday. It took less than 5 minutes to complete. But for every person who is missed in Kentucky, we lose $22,000 of funding over the course of the 10 years. So if 5 people don't complete the census, that's $100,000 in federal does not come into our community. And right now, especially with as we're seeing the impact of not having enough resources in our community, they're talking about potentially running out of money for unemployment benefits. So like we need that federal funding. So please, 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 please complete your census.
Yeah.
Christine, wear a lot of hats at GLI, but the census is incredibly important. And if you need more information on there, it's available really anywhere, but you can also get it on our crisis hub. So last time we had this call, we asked everyone kind of what they're streaming online, because obviously as much as I feel like folks are trying not to watch a ton of TV, it's inevitable when you're just stuck at home. But I thought we could shift this time and talk about, is anybody reading good books? I know that Obviously, it's more challenging to get books right now, but the libraries are being very generous with their virtual libraries. So anybody getting any good reading in these days?
Hey, this is Lance. I'm reading, it was recommended in a podcast I was listening to, Tribe by Sebastian Junger. And it people said it could correlate back to how wars impacted people's mental health and how COVID-19 could impact mental health of individuals, and how it actually wars have improved the mental health of a lot of people who were living during those times. It's an interesting book.
That's awesome. Feel free to shout out your podcast that you're listening to as well.
It's a Louisville-based one, the Render Capital guy. Hold on, I'll look it up and tell you.
Bryce Butler.
Yeah. What's the name of the?
It's called More Than Profit.
Yeah, More Than Profit.
Jordan is a big podcast guy, so I'm not surprised he knew that one off the top of his head. Yeah, local podcasts are awesome. Anybody else have recommendations for those? Please share.
I don't know.
I've been reading Fears of Choice by James Conner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know if you all read that or not, but it's pretty good so far.
Yeah, I've been reading. There's one called That Will Never Work. It's about Netflix. The CEO of Netflix actually wrote it. It's a really good book. It's really interesting. Talks about how they just brought that idea kind of about. Recommend that for sure.
I don't know if anyone watched. I don't know if anyone watched Chernobyl on HBO, but after watching that, I was doing some research online and came across a book called Voices at Chernobyl, where it's these firsthand accounts of survivors from that event. So it's very moving and powerful, but it's been a very good read so far.
I'm on a fun read right now. I try to alternate. So I'm reading Janet Ivanovich's Twisted 26, and it is absolutely just for fun, but it's hilarious. It's a 26-year-old life and her family in a small town, but with a mob connection, and it's just fun. As well as my 16-year-old is reading me the Sharon Creech series, and it's really just a lot of fun. She brought it up and offered to read me her favorite book, Two Moons, and then we went on to get pretty much the entire series, and she's been reading to me. And to have that bonding time with a 16-year-old daughter, and no animosity or anger, or just pure joy, literally, is amazing. So
yeah,
I love to hear that. I feel like that's just a traditional role reversal for a child. That's great.
For sure.
yeah. Well, I'm a content junkie, so I'll go podcast, book, and Netflix show. So, and I rarely ever like binge watch anything, just because like my attention span. But something that captivated me was Money Heist. I really enjoyed that show. So, and then the backstory behind it, like how everything came about. So I think that's a really good show. It's on Netflix. The book that I'm reading currently is Brave New Work by Aaron Dignan. It's a really cool book that really gets into essentially like the future of work concepts and how to essentially garner more trust within the organizations to perform at a faster pace. And as far as the podcast that I'm loving right now, Akimbo, that's by like Seth Godin. It's a really good podcast. And I really connect with a lot of the principles that he shares within that.
Awesome. I feel like it's a great time to be a content junkie. You got a lot of time on your hands.
I'm reading a couple really good books right now that I would suggest, maybe for those of us to taking a look or glance at our 401ks recently. Principles by Ray Dalio is an excellent book by the billionaire hedge fund manager. Also reading a book by Peter Lynch that is called One Up on Wall Street, and gives a history of some of the different recessions and factors, fear factors, things that, what happened then, what's happened, kind of shed some insight on some really good intel. So for those of us that are into following investments, I'd suggest looking at a couple of those books.
To piggyback off of that, we actually have an event, I think it's next Tuesday on the 28th, Stock Market and Economic Outlook. We'll have Baird providing an economic outlook for our investors. So I know it's on the top of a lot of people's minds these days. So go to drop the events link over there in the chat. Go there and register for that and get some updates.
Definitely. Thanks for the suggestion.
I'm reading Patrick Lenciani's book, Death by Meetings. I don't know if that comes across on the video. Need a mirror. But I bought that on a whim. Amazon thought I would enjoy that based on other things I was buying.
Algorithms, love them.
And I will say, I don't know if anyone's read this, but it opens with, imagine if a baseball player said, hey, I love playing baseball, but it's those games. I just hate going to those games. And so it's for leaders of, if you want to get your organization to do things, you do it through meetings. But the reason we hate them is because they're very inefficient. So, so at a time like this, it's really piqued my interest. So Amazon was right in this case.
That's a very timely read. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Well, I feel like this is probably a good transition, Brian, if you do want to talk about the rest of our upcoming events and how folks can continue to plug in.
Yeah, absolutely. Great discussions today, guys. It was great to connect with everyone face to face, essentially. Thank you again to Park Community Credit Union for sponsoring this series and allowing us to do this. We want to try to connect with you guys, members of the community, as much as possible and get you in touch with our resources. So also shout out to our ambassadors on the call, Cindy, Scott, and Frank. We can't do what we do at the Chamber without you guys, so thank you for that. So as Alana and Jordan were mentioning, we do have some upcoming events. These events are all virtual and they are available to anyone. So do check our events page and get connected, register for these events. We do have a best practices for remote workers coming up on April 23rd. There is a stock market and economic outlook, as Jordan mentioned, on April 28th. And then we'll be doing another caffeine and quarantine next week. So we're constantly adding new stuff to that calendar. So if you want to stay in the loop, again, please visit our events page. We also mentioned GLI is sending out newsletters now with links to resources and news to keep everyone informed of what's going on. If you aren't a GLI investor, we still want to be able to keep you informed and help your business. So we're actually offering free GLI memberships right now. So if you are interested in getting started with that, connect with me. I'm going to send my email here in the chat box. Share that with anyone who may find benefit from getting this free chamber membership started, so we can keep you in the loop and get you in touch with your officials and resources to help you guys out. And then we will send out a survey following this. Again, this is only our second Caffeine and Quarantine presented by Park Community Credit Union. So please let us know what you think of this. If there's anything we can do better, we'd love to find out. So please submit that survey whenever you get it out. It's just a few questions. But that's all we have. So does anyone have any last thoughts or questions before we adjourn?
Hope everyone has a great day.
Happy Earth Day.
Stay safe.
Absolutely.
We'll get through this.
Thanks for hosting.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Everyone.
Peace out.
Bye, guys.
See you.
See you.